Hi, my name is Neeraj Bijlani. Today we speak about cloud solutions in BCDR setup, so business continuity and disaster recovery. So business continuity allows a business to plan what it needs to do to ensure that its key products and services need to be delivered in case of disaster. If any disaster happens, business needs to run as usual. And in the case of disaster recovery, where business to plan what needs to be done immediately after disaster to recover from that event. So BCDR is very important in the on-premise environment or in the cloud environment. So currently lot of customers are still non-cloud basis, like they have a data center, they have a headquarter offices, and they are interlinked with each other. So they have multiple data center where uh, productions servers and they have a disaster recovery setup in another data center that is on premise. So they have a business continuity and disaster recovery model in multiple on premises data centers or on premise infrastructures. So now customer want to move their business continuity and disaster recovery model to cloud. So what they have, like they have a on-premise data center for the primary purpose, for the primary products and services, and they can extend that backup data center or disaster recovery data center to the cloud provider. So in that case, if any disaster happens on the on-premise data center, so still customers or organizations headquarters and remote offices can connect to cloud from anywhere and run their critical applications, services to run business as usual in the case of disaster. So BCDR planning and important assets are very important. Like you aware of BCDR important assets. So data and processing. Assets are data and processing, location of these assets. So all the network that are connecting between the assets and the sites of the processing. So all this data, BCDR planning, headquarter users that are connecting to cloud. So this is the first scenario where most of the customers are moving to cloud as their BCDR solutions. So they have to identify the data, they have to identify the applications which they want to move to the cloud, so that they, in the case of disaster, they run the business as usual. So this is the uh, first scenario where on-premise is moving cloud as a BCDR solution. So next you see the second scenario where cloud provider, the customer or organization is already having a cloud provider, one cloud provider. So here you see that there are two cloud providers, they are the same providers. So maybe they one of the application is running on one region availability zone, and a BCDR applications running on another region or availability zone with the same cloud provider. So in this case, if any disaster happen in one location, in one region, or in one availability zone, then the customer can move, may connect to the another region for the business as usual continuity, to maintain the business as usual. So you have regions, availability zone is nothing about the certain set of segments where uh, customer is having a primary setup and they have a secondary setup. So it may be in this case like cloud provider is the same and they have a different reasons, right? So in one region, if any disaster happen, so customer or users can connect to another region or availability zone to run the business as usual. So in this same case, like customer or organization has to be make a plan that what data should go for a BCDR setup so that everything can be accessible in the case of disaster, and what needs to be done, what need to be prioritized as per the business, what application need to be prioritized as per the business, so that business runs as usual. So here in this second scenario, that organization is already with the cloud provider, right? So they are moving just one more region or ability zone where risk can be mitigated in the case of disaster, right? So that is a good option. Um, Most of the organizations are going with the cost effective measure because they have the same provider. Just a region or ability zone will be a difference. Now move on to third scenario where where the customer wants to move to a from cloud provider A to cloud provider B, right? So in this case, like all the uh, regions or ability zone will be transferred to cloud provider B in the case of a disaster of a cloud provider A. If a cloud provider A is completely down, everything is down, servers, applications, computers, everything is down for a cloud provider A, or maybe cloud provider is A is bankrupt, then the organization can connect to cloud provider B with all the services in the case of disaster recovery, right? And run the business as usual. So here this may be a little bit challenges where cost comes into picture, uh, because cloud provider A will have a certain set of technology, tools and processes, and cloud provider B will have different set of technologies, processes, and so on. So this may be some challenges in the cost perspective, but on the business continuity disaster recovery, this is a third scenario where few customers want to go with the same, want to go with this model. So this is all. I have three scenarios in the BCDR environment for cloud customers. The customers who are moving to cloud as a solution as per a BCDR setup. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you like this. Thanks a lot. Bye.